What is going on, y'all? Let me start out by wishing y'all a happy, blessed Monday. Hopefully, y'all are having a good day. Um, so let me just before I hop into this, my emotions are high. I'm in a really good mood. Um, so I took a tour of a college that I'm really hoping to get into. This past Saturday, I went out, and you know, uh, I should be receiving more financial aid than I'm getting. And there was a numerical error on my FAFSA. Those things are tricky. They're very sensitive, and just even the slightest number can dictate a lot of how much financial aid you will get. So I had to go back and fix it this morning, fix it, and I should be getting a whole new aid package from the college that I'm looking at, and hopefully, I can really get into this college because it has a dang good psychology program, and I really want to go out here because this college is amazing. I love the atmosphere of it, and I just know I could grow so much if I went to this college. So I'm so glad I got that fixed. It's something I've been praying about. I am a man of faith. I do believe in God, and I go to church every Sunday. And God's a very important part of my life. When I pray daily. I'm not somebody that's gonna be out here throwing it in your face or talking about it all the time. But when God's been good to me and when the Lord's been good to me, I will proudly talk about Him, and I will tell anybody and everybody that the Lord has been good to me. So that being said, let's get into some football, shall we? So Kenny Galladay signed with the New York Giants, and a lot of Ravens fans were disappointed, and rightfully so, because you know all free agency week, uh, Ravens signed a guard, which is great. That's a very important piece to our offense. We need a really good offensive line, so I'm glad we got that guard that we needed. Um, but we didn't get Lamar any help on the outside. We didn't get him a receiver, a number one receiver. Um, if you can't tell already, Sammy Watkins. All right, um, Sammy Watkins is set to visit with the Ravens tonight um, for a visit. And No, Sammy Watkins is not going to fix all of our offensive woes. Let me get that straight. Let me get that out there real quick. Sammy Watkins is not going to fix all of our offensive woes, but I'll tell you what he can do. He can aid in helping fix the offensive woes. He can help Lamar. He can be dependable for Lamar. Um, let me just read through this a little bit, all right? So let me just start out by saying, let me just read this real quick. The Baltimore Ravens have been interested in adding a wide receiver this offseason. They at least inquired about Kenny Galladay and gave a significant offer to Juju, but failed to land either pass catcher. Now the Ravens will take a shot at another free agent wide receiver, bringing in Sammy Watkins for a visit. It's a choice that makes quite a bit of sense. As I noted in our preview of the best wide receiver still remaining, Baltimore needs an outside possessing receiver to match with Marquise Brown's deep speed and tight end Mark Andrews' ability to control the middle of the field. While Watkins hasn't lived up to his star potential, he's been a very serviceable player in that exact role for the Buffalo Bills, Los Angeles Rams, and Kansas City Chiefs throughout his 7-year career. 7-year career. So Watkins is getting older, but Ravens love their veteran wide receivers. So um, Watkins also has some connections in Baltimore that could draw his interest even more. The Ravens hired Keith Williams, who has been Watkins' personal coach before, to be their new pass game specialist. Offensive coordinator Greg Roman and Watkins were paired together in Buffalo for 2 seasons, including 2015, which was Watkins' best season of his career, catching 60 passes for 1,047 yards and 9 touchdowns. Fan analysts, even former players, have been critical of the Ravens' run-first offensive philosophy this offseason. Though this position is often one of the top needs every single season, having a former MVP Lamar Jackson under center only highlighted Baltimore's lack of top talent at this position. While Watkins isn't the biggest name on the market this offseason, the Ravens' attempts to give Jackson another premier pass catcher is noticeable. So, that being said, let me talk about Watkins, Sammy Watkins. Let me look at his uh, stats. Obviously, stats do not tell the whole story. I mean, obviously, PFF isn't the best place to really be getting information regarding players, but based off of what they have, in 2020 he has 51 targets, 37 receptions, 421, and 2 receiving touchdowns. So again, stats will tell the whole story. But while he in the 2019 season he had 52 receptions, 673 yards, uh, 3 touchdowns. Um, and then 2020 he had 37 receptions, 421 yards, um, 2 touchdowns. So I mean, he had a significant decrease in 2020, but in his long career, he has had a total of 321 receptions, 4,665 yards, and 33 touchdowns. Um, so, like I said, no, Sammy Watkins is not going to fix all of our offensive woes, but he will and can aid in helping to resolve some of the offensive woes. And, if we can get, if Marquise Brown can just continue to step up his game, be that deep outside receiver that we need him to be. He really stepped up towards the end last season. He showed out in the playoffs. He was dependable. He caught almost everything that was thrown to him. So I'm liking what I saw from Hollywood towards the end of the season, and if he can continue to only get better and uh, you know continue to build off what he left us with towards the end of last season, that's it's gonna be awesome. Marquise Brown will be a great number 2, but we need a number 1 to take some heat off of him. And then we have Mark Andrews. Man had a case of the dropsies last season. All right, let's be real, he did, but he has shown on more than one occasion that he has been a dependable target for Lamar. And he catches. You know, he attacks the middle of the field really good. And so Mark Andrews is regarded as a top 5 tight end. He may be lower down in the rankings after this past season, but again, he's been double teamed. So him and Hollywood were the 2 targets that really got focused on because the other receivers really couldn't do much anything. So if you just took away Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews, then you took pretty much away the Ravens passing game, and that just left the running game. So you made them one dimensional. So it was easy to scout them and come up with a game plan to beat them. So um, having somebody like Sammy Watkins to take away some of that attention from Mark Andrews and Hollywood is only going to help in resolving some of our offensive issues. Now, because Sammy Watkins is kind of a veteran, team probably aren't going to focus on him as much, So, um, he's not going to draw a lot of attention, but he'll draw some attention, and some attention off of Marquise Brown and Mark Andrews is better than none. So, um, I would still love to see us to draft another receiver in the draft. Um, my boys at Lunch Break Hot Take, they are on their thing is defund the defense, which is true. Our offense is going to win this game. Our offense is the reason why we haven't been able to make it for the playoffs. We need a better offense than what we have now. Obviously, it's important to have a good defense, and defense still wins championships. Obviously, look at the Buccaneers and their defense that they had. So we do need solid edge rushers to be able to get to the defense, to the quarterback. My bad. So we can't just completely stop putting into the defense, but the defense should not be. We should not be putting all of our money into the defense and putting all of our draft picks into the defense. The offense needs some love. Lamar needs help. Lamar needs weapons he can depend on. So Sammy Watkins, Mark Andrews, Marquise Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, Nick Boyle, um, Pat Ricard, obviously Nick Boyle and Pat Ricard, they should kind of stick to, being more of the blocking, our block, big body blockers, but, it doesn't hurt to hit Pat Ricard on some screens or some checkdowns or, get him involved a little bit, to be a chain mover, get him involved. Nick Boyle, he was more dependable than Mark Andrews was this past season, and he had some hands on him. So, if Nick Boyle can continue to do that, then great. If we can depend on him when we need him, then great. There's no reason why we can't, why we shouldn't be able to. If we got the more people we can depend on, the more people that Lamar can depend on, get the ball to, and know that they're going to catch that ball, then that's going to build up Lamar's confidence, and everybody likes to say Lamar can't throw, Lamar can't throw. But you know what? Watch some of his college tape. That boy can swing that rock. He just needs weapons around him that he can depend on. So I would like to see us draft another receiver. If we land Sammy Watkins, great. If we can develop some of the guys that we drafted last season, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet, if Miles Boykins can step up, be that big body physical receiver that we drafted him to be, then great, So this Ravens offense has potential to be great, or to be better than it has been, but it just all starts with getting more help. And somebody like Sammy Watkins can be that additional help that Lamar needs. So that's really all I've got to say. I hope that we do. I, Sammy Watkins. Now, obviously, it would have been great to land Corey Davis or Kenny Galladay or Antonio Brown, but hey, at this point, I will take anybody for Lamar. So, Sammy Watkins, hopefully, before you leave Baltimore, before you leave the bank, you'll be walking out with a contract, man. So, let's extra cost and bring it home, man. All right. But before I let y'all go, let me just plug my YouTube channel real quick. Um, So my channel, Noah Driscoll. Obviously, look it up. Uh, there's videos, and I done some free agency reactions, recaps. Obviously those didn't do as good, as I wish, but it is what it is. I had fun doing it. I enjoyed doing it. But uh, football isn't going to be the only thing I want to talk about. NFL isn't going to be the only thing I like to talk about. I want to grow my channel and talk about other things such as, college, sports, or music, or, whatever I feel like talking about that day, philosophy or whatever, life, whatever it may be. I just want to continue to grow my channel and talk about anything and everything really that my viewers and I want to talk about. So uh, just go subscribe, stay tuned, and continue to be a part of my YouTube journey. I appreciate it, and y'all have a good day.